All right. Good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. If you join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, good evening. Welcome. Tonight we have a couple of recognitions. First, we'll hear from Eddie Madison, who will share with us a little bit about the American Heart Association, and then we have a special presentation to be made. So we're going to get up and come around the front of the desk, but first, please welcome Eddie Madison, our coordinator of Health, PE, and Outdoor School, for the recognition of the American Heart Association.
Good evening, Ms. Stover, Dr. Marty, Mr. Todd, Ms. Hopper, and the Board of Education. My name is Eddie Madison. I have the privilege to serve as the Health and PE Coordinator here in the Parkway School District. Thank you, Jason. And tonight, I have the privilege to introduce two key contributors to the health and safety of our Parkway community. Here to speak on the successes of our Parkway students and staff and their efforts to make a difference in our community, Miss Carrie Bockert and Miss Jen Rogers.
All right, thank you. All right, good evening. How's everybody doing? Good. I have to hit this, right? Yes, hit the slides. So we are here once again to say thank you for the participation, the commitment that your district has for the American Heart Association. Am I going on the right? And the first thing we're going to do is show a quick little video just to give you a thank you from people around the nation that you have helped by the impact that Parkway has had on the mission of the American Heart Association. So we're going to show this quick video, and then we'll get into the presentation of recognition.
This is my son, Austin. He just had heart surgery about a month ago for a congenital heart defect, and he is doing so well.
I have had 3 open heart surgeries and many other procedures to help me live.
I had 2 open heart surgeries before I turned 2.
I have a special heart.
I'm a heart survivor. I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor.
Remember that your job is important because it can help save lives.
The work that you do makes such a difference, and it matters.
Donating make a difference for kids like me.
I would like to thank the American Heart Association staff for all that you do for me and others like me.
Thank you for funding advancements to help kids like me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Our family is just so grateful for the research that. Thank you so much for helping Austin and all the other kids like Austin who have such a special heart.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work.
Here's to the next 100 years.
All right, so thank you so much, and we'll let them get back to the PowerPoint. But as you just heard, it said, here's to the next 100 years. So we were celebrating our 100th year birthday it was actually in June, but this whole year we're celebrating having bold hearts and healthy hearts in our community for the last 100 years, and here's to another 100. And just to point out a few things, if you look up on the slide, and what we have done over the last 100 years, since 1999, we've reduced the number of deaths by stroke and heart disease by 37%. We have funded over $5 billion in research and education, and that's all due to districts like yourselves that help your communities help us make that happen. This is the impact that we're making in schools. We have over 16,000 schools that we work with around the country, 25,000 teachers engaged, over 10 million families that we've connected with, and bringing that education, that heart health and wellness home to your families. And we have 14 million students that we have reached around the country. So the need is still out there. 1 in 5 children suffer from cardiac arrest, and just giving them the information that they need. And the one thing that we focus on in our program is about CPR and teaching your students, even at 5 years old, how to save someone's life. And I showed you a video, I think, last year about Phil, And that was a great story where they learned CPR and his mom was able to save someone's life. And that is all part of our community. And we're helping make your community a lot safer. So if we take it down a little bit more local here to Missouri, we had over 150,000 students engaged just in the state of Missouri, and almost 4,500 families learned the life-saving skill of hands-only CPR. And that also happened in your community as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about your highlights. So this is the recognition for the Parkway School District. And you had 13 schools participate in the last school year. Over 6,000 students and their families received this information. They learned through school, and then they brought it home to their families. 132 of your families learned CPR, so now you have even more lifesavers in your community, raising over $70,000, and then we invested back into your schools almost $6,000. And you were the number 3 school district, if you want to share that with Dr. Marty. I want to congratulate you on being the number 3 school district in the whole state of Missouri, so congratulations to that. And we're going to get Rockwood next year, I think we talked about in our meeting, yeah. We're going to get Rockwood next year. So I just want to say thank you to all the participating schools. They did a wonderful job this year helping us share the mission of the American Heart Association and making it fun for your students. And let's celebrate a few successes. We had Barrett's Elementary. They were the number 1 school in your district for Kids Heart Challenge. And, and then Barb actually retired. You can see her on the right there in the picture. She retired this year, and in her lifetime, she raised over $120,000. So that's just amazing at Barrett. So we're very excited that she was a part of that, and we'll miss her next year. Carmen Trails, we had Drew Beckner and Jasmine. They had over $2,300 in growth over previous year. Not yet, hold on, that's the next slide. And then at Oak Brook Elementary, we have a few representatives. They had over $3,000 in growth, and that was Jenny Cooley and Phil McGuire did that as well. So because of that, we have the Missouri Hearties. So if you guys want to come on up, and we're going to recognize them. Jenny and Phil were nominated as Coordinators of the Year, along with their $2,300 in growth, so we're excited to have them a part of our Missouri Hearties Awards. And then Amy Lauer, she's the nurse at Hannah Woods, and she was a Rookie of the Year nominee. She took on the program. The principal there was very excited about it and had definitely a personal connection, so Amy took that on for Hannah Woods. And then Drew Beckner and Jasmine, they won. They were the winners of the Above and Beyond Award for the Missouri Hearties. So congratulations to you guys, and thank you for all you did. We are very excited to have 12 schools. That's awesome. We're excited to have 12 schools already committed for next year, and the ones on the 13. Oh, we got another one. Yeah, another one. Okay, we've got 13 schools committed for next year, and then we've already had meetings with several others, so we're hoping to partner with even more schools in your area. So a couple of things that we're offering as resources. This is something new and would be interested for your administration is our Cardiac Emergency Response Plan. We can help your principals with the checklist, connecting them with Project Adam to make sure your schools are safe and they have that plan in place. And then a few free professional development things that we've offered to your staff. We have a leadership series every year, and they had an opportunity to come to an open training to help them out in August before they came back to the school. And last but not least, we're going to recognize Dr. Marty. I'm actually transitioning to a new role, so Carrie is going to be taking over the Parkway School District. She's been with us for 5 years, so she's going to do a great job. And I know you still have a whole school year to make your impact, but I wanted to recognize you and say thank you so much for your commitment. You, did you know this? Have been a huge part and have helped to raise, because of your support, over $1.3 million. That's right, but without your support and encouragement, you would not be there, so.
Jen has been a wonderful supporter, and why don't you tell everybody what your new opportunity is, and then introduce Carrie.
Say that all day.
Well, introduce her.
Carrie is the senior director, so she took over my role, and now I'm gonna be.
She's a vice president. She's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I'm not really that big of a deal, but I'm managing a team. But I do get to stay in St. Louis. Originally, I wasn't, so I'm excited to still be able to be a part of these things in the Parkway District. So, but we're just so thankful for your support because you always encourage your principals and your PE teachers and everyone to be a part of this. And so we're very thankful for you, and we'll miss you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Debbie and the staff, and welcome aboard. I hope you're doing a wonderful job.
She'll do a great job. And that's really all I have. Just say thank you for your support as the board, and Eddie, he's always great. We work well together, and we're excited for another fun year. Thank you.
Next, please welcome St. Louis County Councilwoman Kelly Dunaway, who will present a resolution to Dr. Marty.
Thank you so much. I'm not going to read the whole resolution because I know what it's like to have your meetings extended for these lengthy documents, but I am going to read the last part. Now therefore, be it resolved by the County Council of St. Louis County, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the County Council extends its sincere appreciation to Dr. Keith Marty and thanks him for his thoughtful, dedicated, and unwavering leadership through both difficult and good times to ensure all students are capable, curious, caring, and confident learners who understand and respond to the challenges of an ever-changing world. The County Council wishes Dr. Marty a fun-filled last school year and encourages all St. Louis Countyans to join in congratulating him on a job well done. So the reason we're doing this now instead of at the end of the year is purely selfish on my part because my term ends at the end of this year. And as a Parkway mom who is so grateful for the work that you do and the work that all of you do for the amazing education that my children are getting, they're in 5th and 7th grade, I just couldn't be more thrilled for the work, for the culture, and for the education. And I think so highly of you, Dr. Marty, and I just wanted to be a part of wishing you well before no one cares what I think anymore. So thank you so much.
I just want to say that Kelly has just been a wonderful supporter and done a wonderful job, and I'm sorry to see her go off the council, but she's done a wonderful, she's represented Parkway and our community in West County so well. And she is also, as you just heard her say, just one of the strongest advocates of our district, and really appreciate that. And thank you so much. You know, one of my hopes is that we continually, as a community, work together, our board and other boards and the county continue to work together on behalf of our children and our citizens. And I know you've been such a strong advocate of that. This means a great deal. Thanks so much. I'm really touched. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Once again, congratulations to our schools and individuals honored here tonight by the American Heart Association, and congratulations to Dr. Marty on his resolution from the council. Right now, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll resume the meeting shortly. Now that Dr. Marty has graced us with his presence. He's just practicing. Next up, our agenda, 7.0 additions, corrections, and/or modifications. Those include 7.01, addendum to agenda item 11.14, approval of personnel items. 7.02, addition of agenda item 11.36, approval of memorandum of understanding between Parkway School District and Special School District of St. Louis County. And 7.03, addition of agenda item 11.37, approval of letter of agreement between Parkway School District and Hazard Young and Atia and Associates. Next up is public comments. It's during this time we provide an opportunity for citizen comments in an effort to maintain an open and respectful dialogue with our community. The public comment session is not the appropriate forum for addressing individually identifiable student and/or personnel matters. Therefore, due to privacy laws protecting students and employees, comments about these matters should not include personally identifiable information about particular students or employees. Members of the public, staff, and students are encouraged to utilize established policies and procedures for offering suggestions or addressing concerns and complaints prior to bringing the issue before the board. Please be mindful that the meetings of the board, including your statements at the podium, are broadcast and that you are responsible for any public comments you make. In lieu of a public statement, you may choose to submit your comments to the board in writing. Also, due to time constraints and the need to complete the primary responsibilities of our meeting agenda, we cannot respond during the meeting, so you will receive a response from us in writing. We're always available to have an open dialogue outside of our meetings and can be reached by email or phone using our contact information on the Parkway website. Tonight, I believe we have 7 speakers who have signed up to speak. You'll each have 3 minutes, and if you would please list your name. I'll call you by name, but please reintroduce yourselves and tell us your affiliation or relation to Parkway. That would be great. I will call you in order that you signed up out in the lobby, and I'll try and give you a heads up when you're next on the list, except for the very first person, who will be Heather Gaynor. I apologize if I mispronounce anybody's. Good, I'm glad I got it. So if I mispronounce your name, I apologize.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education. My name is Heather Gaynor, and I am honored to speak tonight as a fellow community member, parent, and educator. I am Parkway proud, knowing that we strive to be the best to ensure that every child has the best possible start to become a confident, capable, curious, and caring citizen. My purpose is to encourage the board to move forward with our new Early Childhood Center. The community voted strongly in favor for this center. The location was selected, and the building has already been designed. We can all agree our district has a huge need to expand early intervention and education opportunities for our families. Tonight, I will share my story and highlight the unwritten stories of our future pandas. We were one of the very lucky families who got a lottery spot for our son to attend ECC, where he was given the opportunity to thrive. He benefited from learning through play and created a foundation for success. Sadly, other families don't have the same story to share. With our project at a standstill, many students are not reaping the benefits of high-quality education and early intervention. Not having access is where achievement gaps begin. It is our responsibility to move forward with this expansion to ensure equal opportunities for all students. Our vision of a learner must include even our youngest learners. We cannot wait. We must prioritize the needs of our families and students today. As always, I thank you for your time and commitment to Parkway. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next up is Megan Schultz. Sorry, I didn't give you an advance warning there. She'll be followed by Christy Heffley and Melissa Copeland.
Good evening. My name is Megan Schultz. I'm a Parkway resident, parent of 2 students in the district, as well as the English Learner Program lead for Parkway. I'm speaking to you this evening to express the need for a centralized early childhood facility that can support more families, specifically our multilingual learner families, who are choosing to move to Parkway for a high-quality education. As the multilingual learner population continues to grow, the Early Childhood Center will play a crucial role in supporting these students' language development. Exposure to a high-quality early childhood program provides young children with the necessary foundation to acquire language skills and become academically ready for kindergarten. By investing in this facility, we're creating a more inclusive, equitable learning environment for all students. By providing our youngest learners with a nurturing and language-rich environment, we're laying the foundation for their academic success and lifelong development. I have the joyous opportunity to welcome new English learners into Parkway through the Parkway Welcome Center and EL intake process. I regularly meet with families who need preschool for their children, but the Parkway ECC is full before the school year even begins. This leaves families without a network of support, scrambling for a safe and developmentally appropriate childcare. The construction of a new early childhood center would help address this critical need by offering additional space and high-quality programs at affordable rates. The construction of a new early childhood center is a wise and necessary investment in our community's future. It will provide our youngest learners with the best possible start to their education, support our working families, and promote language development for our multilingual learners. Please help us ensure that every child in Parkway has access to the high-quality early childhood education that they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Christy Heffley.
Hey, thanks for allowing me to speak tonight. My name is Christy Hafley. I just wanted to share my experience. About a week before school started, there was a call that went out to Wren families and community asking for help because the grounds in front of the school were in really bad shape. So several parents and kids, including my own family, went up and got to work over a weekend. We pulled weeds, we dug flower beds, we mulched, planted flowers. We spent quite a few hours on a Saturday and Sunday making the grounds look pleasant for the upcoming school year and to meet the teacher. These were volunteers that were working to help make the school a better place because there were no Parkway employees that were able to take care of it. When I started thinking about that, then I started thinking about the trails that are currently behind Wren and Southwest Middle. Chris Lawrence and other area residents have spent countless hours every year maintaining those trails, removing the honeysuckle, trimming the branches, and making them usable. And I just wonder, when's the last time that an actual Parkway employee worked to maintain those trails as part of an ongoing plan, and not just because it was part of a service project? The new ECC is set to include beautiful nature areas, and I think that's awesome, but I worry that they're going to fall into disrepair the same way that many of our existing areas already have. We can't continually count on members of the community to take care of these spaces. We love our schools and we'll try, but there's a limit to what you can expect from the community, especially parents of early childhood students who are just still trying to keep their kids alive. Like, I can take my kids up there to help, but if they were 4, I wouldn't be able to do that. Like, it's just not feasible. So as we look at this new proposal, I urge you to have a serious plan to take care of all the new needs that it will create. I'm sure we had a plan to originally take care of the existing structures, but like Mike Tyson says, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face. The needs of the district may change with new hires. People may want to utilize recreational field space that they are currently not using as often as they might in the future. Our plan needs to be robust, flexible, and not require additional resources that we aren't even able to provide for the teachers and students that are currently here. Please find a way to work on not just asking the community to step in or adding Band-Aids to these existing structures, but to rebuild or replace some of the current structures and include the ECC as part of that rebuild. The district's not taking care of the structures it already has, so please let's not create even more maintenance issues than we already have. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Melissa Copeland, who will be followed by Wayne Hartman, Angela Castro, and Jennifer Christensen.
Good evening. I hope everyone here realizes I mean no disrespect to anyone. These traffic problems have been ongoing for years now. Talking and learning about what my neighbors and community have tried to do to resolve these issues. I have found out I'm not the only one. Through the years, I spoke to people at the schools, police officers, never any change. School staff would say, talk to Manchester Police Department. Manchester would say, talk to Parkway. From Monday, July 29th to Thursday, August 1st, there was a strings event at Southwest Middle. Traffic at drop-off and pickup was terrible. Traffic was so backed up on Sulphur Springs both ways. It was sitting still. The traffic on one of the days, 2 days, a staff member stacked them all the way up to my driveway. And the one day I walked out to get in my truck to leave my home. And she's standing with her back in my driveway and walks away. And they just stacked up right behind the cars that she packed up to my mailbox and driveway. I sat there for 3 to 4 minutes waiting, and there's a sign that says, do not block driveway. And both of my driveways in the circle were blocked. I don't understand. I took a picture, I have pictures, I have videos. I can share them with you. August 15th, meet the teachers, which is a great idea. Bring your school supplies, meet the teachers. From 3:30 to 5. Wren Hollow has 450 students. Southwest Middle has 750. We're talking 1,200 students that their families were invited. There was so much traffic. Try to fit 1,200 people in a cul-de-sac. You have room for your faculty to park, and 2 playground parking lots which cannot hold 1,200 vehicles. Traffic study or not, the traffic situation is very bad. And adding more traffic will not help either the district or the community. Please relocate the Early Childhood Center. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Wayne Hartman.
My name's Wayne Hartman, a community member of Parkway. Didn't plan on speaking tonight, but I'm going to talk about general safety information. It's been 23 years now since 9/11. And things aren't the same as they used to be when I went to school. You have a 22-year-old nursing student, 12-year-old grade school student, 35-year-old mother of 5, gone. My wife showed me last night, there was a bunch of girls had a swim party, showed me a video, 4 guys videotaping them with their phones. And a parent seen this, went over there to them and got in their face. I just want people to know, watch your kids. If you go to the Target and somebody's following you down the aisles, go find somebody. If you need help getting out to your car, go back inside if something doesn't look right. Get help. But keep your eyes open because they won't quit. And that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next up is Angela Castro.
Good evening, Dr. Marty and the board. This evening, I chose to speak to you as an employee of early childhood. I know in my heart the benefits of needing a new early childhood center. I have worked in many of the Parkway buildings and am aware of the fact that we need a new center. Our community is looking at this the wrong way. It's not about traffic. It is about educating our youngest need, those students that will be coming into Parkway. They need to have that good Parkway opportunity. With our new center, we can give our community that need. The idea of using that land back there in between the two schools is perfect. It's perfect. It's not being used. And if the woman who spoke about the untidiness of the Parkway School, Wren School, I would invite her to come and take a look at the Early Childhood Center on Clayton Road and see what our staff does to maintain that building. There are people that care and people that understand the need. It's just a few people that are pushing back. I encourage the board to reconsider, open up, look at this issue again, and support early childhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Jennifer Christensen.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Christensen, and I have taken care of the school grounds at Wren for the last 6 to 7 years now. With the occasional assistance of Native Landscapes and the Muni group who help pull weeds and spray for weeds, I do the day-to-day, the watering, the planting, the mulching, the edging. I've planted a total of 13 trees with the help of a grant I applied for, 5 moms, and a post hole digger. I took care of that day-to-day watering of those trees for 2 years, taking an hour and a half or more each day until the deer got them. I had a grand dream, simple, but I just wanted shade for the kids on the playground. And just a simple, beautiful space for them. And I spent countless hours and at least $1,000 of my own money for plants, rocks, mulch. However, no one helped me with that day-to-day, no one. I asked for help to clean up landscaping before our August open house, and I put an all call out to all 400 of our families. And I got a total of 8 adults, 9 kids, and it took us about 6.5 hours on a Saturday and a Sunday before that open house. It was interesting, too, that the people who showed up to do that work are the same people who are showing up at these meetings, asking you to rethink that space. I've never seen a preschool advertise, great schools, average price, you do the landscaping. You'll be hard-pressed to find a family who will take care of the trails and the pond and the stocked pond that you'd like to put in and have toddlers. It's hard work. Where's your grounds crew? How many people are currently employed on the grounds crew? When you hosted open house at Southwest and I talked to the grounds crew guy, it was a skeleton crew then. And when I asked about the school grounds before this open house in August, I was told, well, there's only 2 guys running things right now. They can't get you anything. So what's your plan? Is there one? Because there's no one here to do the work right now. The plumbing flooded out in the hallway of the front of Wren up by the office, and the bathroom flooded all the way out into the hallway. There was only 1 plumber for the district. You guys pay really well at the top, but it's the people behind the scenes that you can't keep, and they're the ones who are running stuff the day-to-day. So maybe there's too much on the top. Maybe pay the guys on the grounds crew, the custodians, the plumbing, pay them a little bit more, revamp our dying buildings, and get this place looking good again. And enrollment in the South area is down. Maybe this isn't the right spot.
Thank you. Appreciate everyone's comments tonight. As I mentioned, you will each receive a response from us in writing. Next up, we need to approve our agenda for tonight. So may I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda for the regular meeting of the Board of Education as scheduled for September 11th, 2024.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Next regular board meeting will take place on Wednesday, September 25th, 2024, beginning at 7 p.m. right here at the Parkway Welcome Center. Parkway's annual tax rate hearing will take place that same evening at 6:30 p.m. here at the Welcome Center. Next up is board and superintendent reports. Matt, you wanna start us off?
To start the school year, I want to share two things. One will be sad and one will be joyful. So I will definitely lead the joyful, go into Jeffrey. Just so everybody understands, with our schools right now, we react to the world around us. So we have 4E training for all of our teachers. Like all this board has gone through the 4E training, which is the training for how to handle an intruder in the building. You have to be even armed. We now have Stop the Bleed I've learned about. I did not know about that. We have a Stop the Bleed training, the tourniquet, the wound care for our teachers and staff to know about. And then I've been to the trainings we give to our students when there's a shooter too. And that is not enjoyable. My kids have come home stressed after those days. And being on the school board now for 6 years, Ms. Stouffer will send out texts to all of us to remind us about meetings. We expect them to come in, where to be, what time, they're great. But the little bit of anxiety that I get when we get one from her, that's not what's supposed to come. That's something that's going on in the district. Luckily so far, water issue, power issue. But in our society right now, there's this little thought in the back of my head, something bad is happening. So just, as we look ahead, America can do better. And I really hope during this election time that we really prioritize our kids, our teachers, and our staff's safety going forward. All right, joyful. Sorry about that. Had to get that out though. We have a family in Parkway that had their first kid start last year in kindergarten. And the parents drove their kid every day to kindergarten, and every day the kid looked over and saw the school bus. And the kid longingly wanted to actually ride the school bus. But all throughout the year, the parents said, no, maybe later, but we're gonna keep driving you for this first year. So at the end of the year, end of our kindergarten year, Mom, my dream is to ride the school bus. So this summer, the parents went in, got the kid on the school bus, and that kid now is riding the school bus every day from the first grade starting, and they are thoroughly enjoying it. And I just want to call out Alton Ease of bus 169 for helping that first grader achieve their dream.
That's great. Well, first off, I want to thank all of our speakers tonight. As always, we enjoy hearing from you. I visited some schools. This is the first week. It would not be a typical week unless there was a Parkway Central High School student asking me where a class was. I still know the building, not as well as I used to, so I was able to navigate a little bit and help them out. One thing I heard is going through the elementary schools in particular is our new benchmark program when it comes to ELA, as well as other subjects. And every teacher I talked to raved about it. And I know we'll learn more as we go along, but it truly seems to be something that teachers are enthusiastic about. And I was so happy to hear that going through these schools. Some other things I've done since our last board meeting, I did have a TLA subcommittee meeting with Ms. Hopper, where we talked about world languages, fine arts, which we'll hear more about later today, as well as some overall updates. We also, a few of us were at the partner tailgate at Parkway Central on Friday, and it was Thursday, excuse me. It was an interesting game. 42-0 at half, Hazelwood East. So it was great being with partners. It was a tough ending for Parkway Central. But my daughter got to, shake hands with the players and absolutely loved it. And then last, I know we'll get more into it, but we've done a lot as a group with the superintendent search, and that's been keeping us busy. But I know we'll hear more about that in a little bit.
Yeah, for me, the September school board meeting is, all my thoughts and energy are thinking about the beginning of school. I have children still in the district, and being able to visit some schools during the first week of school and check in with friends and acquaintances throughout the district just always remind me all the positive energy we've got going here at Parkway, and kind of seeing everything in action just brings me a lot of delight for being a board member and getting to be a part of that. So I'm just excited for the beginning of the year and kick off of fall sports, even if they aren't all going perfectly, Jeffrey, to your point, but still a lot of fun to be had, and look forward to seeing more of that as it all unfolds.
Fall's my favorite time of the year. It's being a football and school. There's a little chill in the air, and there's an enthusiasm and sort of a newness to everyone starting a new school year, and it's all wonderful. But as usual, I kind of following up what Matt was talking about, only not as eloquently as he did. But that's all tempered when you get news like we had last week out of Georgia. And you know, it's hard to become accustomed to this just being part of our reality, and particularly, you know, it's one thing to internalize these things as a, you know, as an adult, but then to see it through the eyes of your kids and have conversations with your children about, you know, if this happens, what do I do? And it's really tough. And I think I mentioned that we have a foreign exchange student who lives with us, and man, was that a weird conversation, because coming from other countries, it's about as foreign a thing as there could be. What? I go to school and there's a chance somebody might just show up, and it's a really tough conversation. I hate that we have to have it, and I wish we could do better. I wish I knew the answer, or wish there was an answer, but you know, it sort of tempers all the joy and enthusiasm, but I don't want to temper it too much because it is the beginning of the school year and is a great time of year. And one of my favorite things as a board member is those visits the first week of school, and you know, you walk into a building and kids are excited to be there, or at least they say that to board members when they come to their classrooms. But it's the first day of school, not just for the students, but also for teachers and administrators. And several of the schools I went to had new leaders in the building, and you could tell that those schools in particular had kind of an extra hop in their step, and it's very exciting to be a part of that. As far as district activities, most of mine have been focused on football games, which has been fun, and including that tailgate with Parkway Central wasn't up for the challenge. But I'll tell you what, those tacos at the tailgate were undefeated, so it wasn't all lost. But looking forward to another great school year, and hopefully good times ahead.
Well, same here. Welcome back to school this year and all the various different activities. I too had the opportunity to visit several of our schools, and excitingly, I visited our new Spark location that had relocated from another area, and I just saw positive student engagement there, and the offices are beautiful. So very pleased with that location. If anybody does go there, there is handicap accessibility there. So we're, just might have to plan ahead a little bit about that, but it is there, and the students were just highly engaged, and I really enjoyed being there. I also went to McKelvey Intermediate School, and we have a relatively new principal there, Scott Wilkerson, and those kids just absolutely adore him, going up to him, giving him hugs. It was just simply adorable. And then I got a chance to look at our new playgrounds because we're having all of our playgrounds renovated. So he showed me around some of those, and that was a nice opportunity as well to do that along with their building and the cafeteria. And then I moved on to Shenandoah Valley. Terry Polite is the principal there, and we had an awesome time with her students, and they introduced me to their 4 houses, 1 family motto with the big spinny wheel, and like you're on Wheel of Fortune and you get to spin it. And I got this lovely band because I became part of the Jasiri house. So this is kind of like a Harry Potter theme, and you have different houses, and I ended up in Jasiri. So their motto is the House of Bravery with symbols of lion and a crown, and their color is red. And they have a principal and a a president and a vice president for each one of the houses. So it was an awesome time. We had so much fun. I've been doing a lot of football games as well this season, and going to a lot of those activities. We'll be having homecomings upon us. Central High homecoming is this weekend, and then I know West High is September 28th, and I know we've got North and South in between those dates. Okay, all right. On Monday, August 26th, I attended with Carrie Nunn, our new CFO, a board finance workshop that was held at the offices of Ed Plus, and it was sponsored by the Missouri School Board Association. And we learned all sorts of new things, of course, reviewing some old, some other information, but it was very timely since we're at the very beginning of the school year. I'm going to be talking about a lot of matters pertaining to finance, as well as needing to do some local legislative action coming up as well. More to come on that. And then finally, I'd like to report that our Parkway representative on the Special School District Board of Education will not be seeking re-election. And so we are in need of a Parkway representative on the Special School District's Board of Education. Katie Potroff has been serving in that capacity as a Parkway parent and resident of Parkway. It will be 6 years, and she currently serves as the president of the Special School District Board of Education. But her time, she's opted not to seek reelection, so if you know of someone that would serve Parkway well in that capacity, I would encourage you to have them reach out to me or keep an eye on the Special School District website. Additional information will be coming out then. The application process opens up in December, and the election is in March. And so we'll be interested in trying to find a good candidate and fit for that position.
I too echo the comments about first day of school. It was great to be in buildings. I kind of focused, I tried to focus, I walked around with Dr. Marty and Dr. Holman Bess on a different day, but I was really interested to observe our new teachers. We have a number of new teachers in different buildings, and just the zeal and excitement they have for embracing their class and kicking off the year was really exciting to see. So I appreciate that. Also got to welcome back different employee groups since the last board meeting, transportation folks, a couple of the different coaches groups, and our nurses right here just the week before school started. I will also echo Kevin's comments about the tacos. Chartwell's just knocks it out of the park every time. It was delicious, so thank you all for that. And then I'll just throw this out there. Every once in a while, if you look at our board agenda, you look at the items that we're to approve each month. Every once in a while, there's a donation from the public. It is usually, the PTO has raised so much money for this project in the school, or somebody has a matching gift from their employer or something like that in the school benefits. The school benefits in other ways from things that we don't get in that report. And you heard a couple of people mention it tonight. Taking care of schools the week before school starts and throughout the year. I remember doing it lots of times when my kids were at Henry and West Middle and West High, and it was always a mad rush. So I get it. I appreciate everything you do, and people continue to do to keep the buildings looking great. It's no secret that we're shorthanded in a lot of different areas. Groundskeeping is one of them, and so we do really value the work that so many families do, kids and adults. The other thing that doesn't show up on these reports is something, and he's already left for tonight, but one of our speakers tonight, Wayne Hartman, has created some flags. One of them is now hanging or now stationed in Parkway South High School's foyer. He's apparently quite the woodworker, and he has taken it upon himself to do this for his community. So we appreciate things like that don't always make it on the board reports. So thank you all for everything you do for your community. Dr. Marty.
Well, thanks, board members, for a lot of statements about the start of school year. I would just say that we, as SAB members, were out and about, and I think the thing that impresses us is I was at a couple of high schools and second and middle schools early the first couple of days, and how it's like they never left. I was walking with Tim McCarthy at Central the first day, and about half hour into school day, the hallways were, for the most part, absent of students. They were in the classes, and things were underway. So I just salute our principals, our staff, for really starting off the school year, and learning is occurring right off the bat, which is really a great thing to see. And we've had, like I say, a great start with a lot of new people, both in terms of administrative roles and teachers. And Jeff just said, we try to really support them. So we really do try to, with our professional development program, as well as Tiffany and others in SAT, support our new administrators as the year goes on. So we have a lot of new folks, but everybody is enjoying, I think, their new roles, and we continually hear the pleasure the welcoming they're feeling and the focus that they really believe we put on people. So we're very, very excited about our new folks. You covered a lot of things, so I won't repeat it. I will just say that I went to a college night this last week at Queenie Park. We now combine that with Rockwood, and thousands of people, literally, with about 108 universities and colleges there. And I enjoy going, even though my children are well beyond that. My grandchildren are coming up close on college, but just to watch the students and even talk to some of the students and parents about, what's coming. And a lot of choices. Some come pretty well decided. I talked to one person, they really just came to see one university. And then you have some who come to, they're really kind of, it's wide open. So it's a great night. And Dr. Kane and I enjoyed, Superintendent Rockwood, spent some time walking around and just enjoying the time together. We also, Debbie mentioned the game coming up at the Parkway West late in I think the 27th, is our Mayor's Cup game. And this is always a tradition, West versus Central, so that's always a great rivalry. And we do get a lot of participation. In fact, the Mayor, Nation, and the council members will be in attendance, we just found out. The tailgate party was mentioned. Certainly our sports marketing program is thriving, and we really appreciate all the people stepping up to support that. I just want to mention Angie Pappas-Moyko will be recognized in September 30th as now she's not new anymore, but her organization, the Secondary Principals of Missouri, have chosen her as the new outstanding principal in the state of Missouri. So some of us will be going to luncheon with Angie down in Columbia. And we also want to just mention Parkway Hall of Fame. Information will be coming out, but this is for everyone. Recognize, I think, about 16 inductees this year. That's going to be on November 9th at the Danforth Science Center. So that's an event that is always a pleasure because this is recognizing our very successful alumni. Also, just want to mention, and Greg Matheson, if anyone is really looking to get more information, our food pantry continues to thrive, but continually needs support, both in terms of volunteer and food and supplies. So we want to encourage our schools, our public, to continually support our Parkway Food Pantry. We're seeing an increase in needs in this time, and so we certainly encourage people to continue to support the food pantry. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, 10.03, our superintendent search update. Did you know you're being replaced?
I do that.
So if I could just recap a little bit, a letter was sent to all Parkway staff, parents, community members. It explains the process, information about focus groups, survey, things like that. There's a story on our homepage on the website that links to the survey. The survey is open to everyone in the community through September 28th. So we encourage you to participate in that survey. We've all had an opportunity to do it in person. If for some reason you don't have access to electronic version, we have copies at the administration center, and I think we're going to have them here as well. So you can come by here and pick one up and turn that back in. But digital is great. It doesn't take very long to complete. And we've also actually created a specific page on the website that will provide a link to the superintendent application. If anybody in this room is interested in applying, it's there. We'll also continuously update that information, things that are going on. As was mentioned, we met with a firm here recently that we hired. We've also sent a press release to local media, so you may hear some stories in the news, newspaper about the process and how you can become involved. They'll hopefully share the same information about the survey and things like that. And then lastly, we sent, just a couple of days ago, we sent invitations to a large randomly selected group of families in the Parkway School District and also different employee groups. The email was basically an invitation to participate in some very specific focus groups. Those will be happening next week. The firm that we hired is conducting those, and we worked with them to determine how best to reach all of our stakeholders. So they'll be interviewing parents, staff, students, and even us, even our SAT members. So we look forward to getting the feedback from those groups, from the survey, over the next few weeks and over the next month. We'll continue developing that character profile that we'll look for in Dr. Marty's successor. Like I said, the survey is open through September the 28th. I think somebody mentioned, I don't remember, it's been a busy process. It's been a very hands-on, all hands on deck kind of process so far. We don't expect that's going to change, but we've had quite a few meetings thus far to get us to this point, to figure out not only who do we want to interview for a search firm, we had to hire the search firm. We've had meetings with the search firm now both in person and some of us online, just to kind of keep chipping away at this process. It's something that we've set an aggressive agenda. We would like to have a new superintendent identified and named by the end of this year, and I think we're on track for that. It'll give us a nice, healthy time period where that person can shadow Dr. Marty during his last semester in the school district, and hopefully have a great onboarding experience for the person that will take over. As exhausting as it is for board members sometimes dealing with all those meetings, it's probably tenfold for those working behind the scenes, helping with all the logistics. And those individuals, not necessarily limited to these individuals, but certainly bearing the brunt of that is Nikki Stover, our board secretary, Elisa Tomich, our communications lead. I know that Dr. Bogus has been involved with a lot of these discussions, and a lot of other people. I know each of them have their own team that has been working behind the scenes. So we really, really do appreciate all your time and effort thus far, and we know it's not quite over yet. So thank you in advance for what we will all endure to get through this process and make it successful. So thank you all very much. Next up, we have a pretty healthy consent agenda, which we've all had an opportunity to review the last few days. So may I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented in the September 11th, 2024 board meeting materials?
So moved.
Second.
Is there anything to be pulled to action or closed? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. Next, we're going to have our very first resolution to reset the tax levy by our new CFO, Carrie Nunn. So Carrie, welcome.
Thank you, guys. Good evening. So for the 2024 tax rate, this is a non-reassessment year, so this is an even year. And so we are looking to roll back the voluntary residential rate, which is, do we have the next slide so you guys can see? Oh, thank you. It's that one. Thank you, guys. Oh, it's already up there. What do you know? So our current voluntary rate is 0.1534, which annually saves the residential taxpayers $5.5 million. So by rolling this back, this gives the district the flexibility to analyze this rate and see if there's a potential to that we need to use that for district needs. I can tell you for the 2024 tax levy, we will have a similar rollback, but I'll have the actual numbers for you at the September 25th tax rate hearing.
Okay.
Very simple.
Sounds simple. Anyone have any questions? Okay. We look forward to seeing you at our next board meeting in just a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'll see you soon. Thank you.
All right, so may I have a motion and a second that the Board of Education for Parkway School District for our 2024 tax rate calculation resolve to reverse the voluntary rollback on the operating levy for the Parkway School District. This includes any and all voluntary rollbacks from the residential, commercial, personal property, or the agricultural tax levies. This change will allow for flexibility in our use of funds and to otherwise meet our operating revenue goals.
Moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you very much. We have no policy review tonight, nor reports. So next up on our agenda is one of two work sessions. So I'd like to invite Brooke Harrington, our resident district manager, and Rachel Mintz, our director of nutrition, to come join us.
Hello, everybody. I am Brooke Harrington. I'm the resident district manager for Chartwell's K-12 at Parkway School District. Along with my colleague Rachel Mintz, we will be reviewing our targeted evaluation for the Nutrition Services Program this year. Our goal today is to outline our initiatives for community engagement. All right, so Chartwell's manages the nutrition services operations here at Parkway. Our team ensures the district receives state and federal funding while focusing on operational efficiencies. So we continuously focus on improving our program, and our initiative target evaluation is going to help us do that. Next. Okay, so here's our leadership team. That's me, Brooke Harrington, resident district manager. And then we have Rachel Mintz, who's our director of nutrition services. And then Kenny Whitty is our resident dietitian and catering manager. This team, along with our 120 associates, help us make sure our students in the district are meeting nutritional needs. Okay. Community and stakeholder engagement is a vital part of our mission. We believe that building strong relationships with parents, community members, and teachers is essential for the success of our nutrition initiatives. When we involve the Parkway community, whether it's listening to student feedback or collaborating with departments, we see an increase in participation and improved health outcomes for students, which directly supports the district's mission.
So why are we focusing on engagement? Focusing on engagement creates a stronger partnership between Parkway and Chartwell's. When Chartwell's is actively involving the Parkway community, by listening to student preferences, collaborating with other departments, and supporting district-led nutrition initiatives. The district experiences, as Brooke said, higher participation in meal programs and improved student health outcomes. So I think I moved forward on that slide. Why are we focusing on engagement specifically? In part, reviewing Parkway's strategic plan, we found that students requested better quality food and more varied food options in the cafeteria. These findings were consistent with a survey that the Nutrition Services Department put out last spring. We have started implementing changes based on this feedback, and we look forward to getting more feedback. In addition, with the strategic plan, students identified concerns about portion sizes, the affordability of lunch, and allowing students to share or trade food. Based on this feedback, we've identified a need for additional education surrounding both the school breakfast and school lunch program. And finally, in the strategic plan, staff identified that a recurring theme involves improving communication and collaboration between different entities, and we want to work to improve communication with students, parents, and other departments. So what are we currently doing? To keep everyone informed, we currently send monthly newsletters to the superintendent, our chief financial officer, and the Board of Education. Parents receive quarterly newsletters, and we share updates on social media and our Nutrition Services webpage. We also have recently launched monthly regional newsletters to further strengthen communication within our community.
In addition to our communication efforts, we are actively engaged in various programs and events, such as Mood Boost, Discovery Kitchen, Food Truck 101, and we regularly support events like Claymont Family Night and Grandparents Night, and family engagement opportunities like open houses and orientations. These efforts are designed to create a positive experience around food for students and their families.
As we assess our program, we are guided by several key questions, which you can see up here. How effectively are we communicating with students and parents? What is the level of participation in our programs and initiatives? And how do parents and staff perceive the impact of our nutrition programs on student health? These questions will help us evaluate our success and identify areas for improvement. We're using multiple channels such as email, social media, and newsletters to communicate our initiatives and programs. We're constantly seeking feedback from stakeholders to ensure that communication is clear and accessible. So one of our key goals is to understand how our stakeholders prefer to receive information and ensure that our messaging resonates with them. Our second focus is on participation and engagement. We analyze the turnout for our events and workshops. We look at factors that may influence participation, such as timing and the relevance of the content. By identifying patterns and gathering feedback, we can tailor our nutrition initiatives to better meet the needs of our community.
We also assess how parents, teachers, and community members perceive the impact of our programs on student health and well-being. Stakeholder observations of student outcomes, such as improved energy levels or focus in the classroom, are invaluable in measuring the success of our initiatives. We are also interested in how stakeholders view the sustainability of our programs. Finally, we look at the contributions of our stakeholders. Many have offered support through volunteering, donations, or advocacy. We want to recognize and encourage these contributions as they are key to the ongoing success of the nutrition initiatives. Understanding any barriers to participation will also help us increase involvement. Okay, so looking ahead, here's our timeline for the upcoming events. In late September, we will present the evaluation to the board subcommittee. By October, we plan to distribute surveys to students, parents, and district leaders. Focus groups will follow in November, and by December, we will present a memo summarizing the data and our action plan to the Board of Education.
And that's all we have.
Okay. Thank you very much. The only question I have is you talk about the surveys you're going to present to your different stakeholder groups. How have you, or have you yet, decided what age students you're going to survey? My guess is that any random third grader is always going to prefer peanut butter and jelly over broccoli, but I'm just curious, you know, what you feel is a credible, you know,
So we
response from
currently do
students.
focus groups at our elementary level because we can ask open-ended questions that will allow them to continuously speak with us, and we can gather data that way with them. So we approach our elementary students at that level. And then middle school, we do want to tackle K through 12, right? Each section has a different need, and they have different food preferences, and we want to make sure that we're meeting those while also meeting our nutritional needs for the students.
One question that I have, can you go into a little bit more detail? You talked about sharing and trading food. Was that what students wanted, or what the issue is there?
Yeah, so students did report in the surveys that they did want to share and trade food. However, we are not allowed to have students do that with our food on our line. We do have a share table, but due to allergies, we don't support that.
That's what I was wondering, because, and I was just curious too, if you're gonna incorporate some information about allergies in your surveys. Because when I was in the cafeteria, there was a big sign that the bread does contain sesame powder or sesame flour of some sort, which is now one of the big high allergens. So that knocks out a number of your products for students, including the pizza, because apparently, I guess, the pizza still contains sesame as well. So I'm just curious, how are you gonna be incorporating all of that type of detail into your survey too?
So we're hoping that with the community surveys and the parents responding, that'll allow us to make sure that we are figuring out what our needs are. Right now, actually today, we piloted fresh baked bread at North Region because we do recognize that a lot of our products have sesame in them, and it is a top allergen, which is a major concern for us. So we are piloting programs we made the bread in-house today. So we are working that way. Right now, the local bakeries have not removed sesame from their factory lines. So we are limited on choice, and we are exploring options to make sure that we can prevent that.
Okay, great, thank you.
Anyone have any other questions? Thank you both very much. We look forward to hearing from you in December.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have Dr. Kevin Beckner and Mr. Jeff Lackey. Jeff's our coordinator of fine arts, and Kevin Beckner is our assistant superintendent of teaching and learning. And They're going to talk to us about fine arts.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Marty Mistover. As you know, we have a very robust fine arts department in Parkway, and thank you. We chose to do targeted program evaluation. So last year we evaluated our visual arts, and this year we're going to begin looking at our performing arts. And if I can get that together. Thank you. So just a timeline of where, I'll start with our timeline. So on August 14th, I met with all the performing arts staff in our district as part of our back to school meetings, where we determined our topics that we would like to pursue and guiding questions. And then on August 22nd, we met with the subcommittee and to review those topics. And then obviously we're meeting today to present those topics. Between September and May, we will investigate, see what we can do to answer the questions that we come up with, and by May, present or send a memo to the board with those results. So back on August 14th, I had 80 teachers meet together at Central High, where we determined what do we want to know about our program. We have a great program. We're very proud of our program. But at the same time, we're always looking for ways to get better. And so though you can't see it very well, the teachers came up with 5 different categories. They posted lots of questions, and if you can't see very well, but there's little dots that they decided to spin. So each teacher was given, I believe we did 5 dots, and they go spin the dots where they really valued. And you'll notice that 4th poster is really full, and we'll get to that in a minute. So the 5 areas of study that we would like to pursue is curriculum, equity, resources, facilities, and 5 is advocacy. So under each one of those topics, we have guiding questions. Each of these had about 40 to 50 different questions. This is a summary of where we are. So how can we better align our curriculum across grades to ensure continuity and retention? What methods do we use to assess student growth, ensure that we meet standards, and determine readiness for advanced classes? How do we ensure our curriculum is flexible enough to accommodate varying students' needs while encouraging individuality and expression? 4, how can we standardize program expectations across different levels, ensuring that performances support and reflect our curriculum? And how can we evaluate these performances in a way that's understandable for those unfamiliar with the intricacies of what it takes to put on a performance? And then 5, how do we create opportunities for staff to collaborate and develop our resources? Under the topic of equity, we came up with 4 guiding questions. How do we ensure all students have equal access to performing arts education, including field trips, instruments, types of courses, etc.? How do we create equitable performance opportunities for our students across all schools and all levels? 3, how do we ensure that our teaching practices, literature, and music selections reflect the diversity of our school? And then 4, how do we guarantee equitable allocation of resources, including funding for diverse and cultural materials across the district? Topic 3, we into our resources. 4 questions: how does our staff and scheduling ensure we meet student needs? What plans are in place to update resources to align with real-world standards and maintain equipment inventory across all schools? As you know, we have aging equipment, we have aging schools, we have aging instruments. 3, how do we support teachers, including those who travel between schools, to foster retention and effective use of their skills? And then 4, how do we ensure the quality and availability of resources such as instruments for all students regardless of their financial situation? And the topic that they like to talk about the most, and just when I said they got to spin those little dots, each teacher had 5. Each poster had about 40, 30, but this one carried over 100. So topic 1, for facilities, we got this down to about 5. So how do our facilities compare to those of similar districts? 2, how do our facilities impact the quality of curriculum, student performance, and staff effectiveness? 3, how do our performance and rehearsal spaces provide adequate storage, safety, and accessibility for students and staff? 4, how do our current facilities influence community engagement, audience perception, and the overall performance experience? And then 5, what improvements are necessary to ensure our facilities enhance student achievement and success? And then for our 5th category, we went into advocacy. as it's always important. One, how do we communicate the value and benefits of arts education in Parkway? Two, how can we acknowledge and celebrate the accomplishments of our performing arts programs, as well as the achievements of both our students and staff? And then three, how do we foster student advocacy and engagement in the arts? Questions? It was a lot to cover, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No, I was just gonna say, as being part of the subcommittee, I appreciate the depth of these questions that you're going through. I know facilities was always something that we talked a lot, and as a parent, obviously you hear the air conditioning over what you hear necessarily at the concert. But I do appreciate the thoughtfulness that you guys put into these. I know there were some changes, small tweaks based on our conversations, and just really appreciate the work you guys are doing on this.
Thank you.
And I'll add in the continual atmosphere of school districts having to cut funding for the arts, I'm glad that we're looking the other direction and we're seeing what we can do to continue expanding what we have to offer. As a student in Parkway that did every performing arts program possible, I was never the visual arts person, but I love that we're taking a look at this and seeing how we can improve our schools, improve what we have to offer our students. So, thank you.
Jeff, I'm not sure I saw it there, but I just, is there a discussion about kind of looking at what has happened historically with, numbers of kids enrolled in programs, and then what we could do to maybe continually market? I like Jeff, believe that the fine arts are so important to so many students, and are we maintaining students who started in a program? Some of those retention issues, I don't know if where that falls, probably under advocacy maybe, or under.
Maybe even in the first one in the curriculum, we can track our,
Right.
what is our enrollment, what are our enrollment trends? Yeah.
I think as you study, are we maintaining, kids in the program, and what reasons would they be dropping out? And then, how do we continually, and I think under equity you're addressing.
Yeah.
How do we pull in students who we really want to get in the program, but there's some barriers maybe that prevent them from coming in? Because I think everybody on this board, and I think, as Jeff said, we have such a great program, but is there more we can do to make sure we maintain and retain kids and also involve others that we may
That
not?
falls under our equity and resources
Right.
category. What barriers are in place to prevent kids from continuing our programs?
Right.
Yes.
Jeff, I too, I will say, as being on the subcommittee, we went through a lot of time to review all of this in great detail. But as I think about this more, do we have a guiding question that talks about the future of the performing arts and student interest in growing what their interests might be? Instead of just doing the same old all the time, is there a growth opportunity in here to evaluate where should we maybe be, opening ourselves up a little bit more to other
If our
genres,
courses are
if
still
you
meeting the
will,
needs of our students, and yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
You just maybe think of something, are you
Yeah.
talking about potential careers as well as lifetime skills, or?
Well, that or just the breadth of what it is that students are exposed to in the way of music. Do we do enough of whatever the latest music is
What
out
is the
there?
latest
Not
music?
that we want to go down that road all the time, but, as far as hip hop or rap or whatever the new terminologies are, different instruments, the beatboxes or whatever.
Yes,
So, we will.
As you know, we have
Change
our
it up
we have
for
our
'em.
traditional courses of band, choir, orchestra.
Instead of a timpani all the time.
I think Debbie's volunteering for something. I can't tell what.
Just to make sure that we're changing with the times, that we're staying up with
And we do,
the latest.
and we can certainly look into that. We do offer a lot of courses. We have guitar and piano and a really great music technology program that exists at some of our schools. So absolutely, we are interested in making sure we're still relevant and applicable to our students.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
And I guess just another question, and I don't know, Jeff, we haven't really talked a whole lot, but what are we doing to make sure as we look at the shortage of teachers, what are we going to do to maintain this? Because we're going to have, I can think of some of our folks who have been around for a while, maybe retiring. How are we going to really maintain that quality in recruiting. I guess that goes back to advocacy, potential resources, but we have just some wonderful folks in both the theater and the music areas, and
Yes, we do.
and how are we gonna make sure we maintain that quality? Mike would say we're a destination district, but, you know, we really have to be concerned, I think, about who's gonna be teaching and maintaining and directing. Some of these folks have just been so dedicated.
Yeah, we are fortunate to have a strong program that we do attract a very large applicant pool. So, but yes, that's a good question. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have no special meeting to have anytime soon, so.
They're all special.
Right now, may I have a motion and a second to adjourn the regular meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you all for attending.